So guys, it's another offensive, thorny idea. And it segues us neatly into something which that it's been really helpful for me, is this shedding the idea of being a savior. You know, a savior in a lot of ways. A savior is someone who needs to be needed, where they draw identity from service of others. In other words, when they're saving other people, they feel good about themselves. Like a savior is fueled by this desire that I can and you can't. And so there's these interventions to change people's lives, but it's motivated by, like, there's something really, it's motivated inside and sometimes by a lot of like selfishness. And so white people, white males specifically, people like me, I've been so guilty of this in the past and probably still in the future, in the present and probably into the future. You know, we can get it so wrong when we're motivated by the idea of trying to save people. You know, it's just another form of supremacy or prejudice, you know, guys behind good intentions, you know, hiding behind the guise of good intentions. And so any form of prejudice, any form of supremacy, it creates oppression, and it's something that we really want to eject, not just for the people we're serving, but also for ourselves. Bad idea, okay? So bank that. None of us want to save anyone else. You know, on the best day, the only person we can control is ourselves, okay? So I think we're all happy with that. And if you're not happy with that, engage in your heart. You definitely don't want to try and save the world. It's a terrible idea. But we do want to create connections because it helps us to challenge the status quo of inequality that we were born into. But we want to do that through admiration, okay? So you're smart. I mean, you make friends all the time. This is like, I mean, it's one of the oldest, easiest things to do as a human. We're designed, our chemicals inside our being are designed to make connection, family, community, friendships. This is who we are. We come alive when we make connection. And so you do this all the time. The toolkit that I'm giving you today is a parameter of success. Okay, so when we're making connection across class, across race, across gender, across sexual parameters, and pushing into these spaces which we're designed not to move into, one of the things we're going to have to do is we're going to have to reframe our toolkit of admiration. So last week we looked at prejudice and how sometimes we're stopped from engaging with people because we have a very neatly defined idea of success. This week I want to challenge us that, you know, Zach was born in the Eastern Cape and moved to Durban, South Africa when he was very young, 3 or 4, because his dad died. From as old as he could walk, he was selling mealies door to door, all right? Like, Zach didn't look anything like my normal friends, but the minute I heard that, I admired him. So here's a man who's fought for his life. I mean, God, that's unbelievable, you know? Zach battled with school, and so he engaged in crime pretty young, dropped out. He just missed getting caught by the police and getting sent to prison, but totally reformed his life and became this incredible servant of the Intezuma community. When I heard that, despite the fact that he didn't have money and he didn't have a job at the time when I met him and he didn't have a car, I admired him, and so I leaned into a connection. Zach battled with understanding and education, but he was one of the wisest people I know. And when I reframed my parameters of education, it enabled me to admire him, you know. And the reality is, Zach never looked to me as the savior. And I never forced myself on Zach to save him. And we always had an equal friendship. And I suppose that's part of if we're navigating through the mystery of connection and making connection like cause, one of the things we've got to make sure is that our friendship is equal. We're Cross-class friendships where we're creating dependencies, that's unhealthy. We want equality, where we're equally dependent on each other.